Digging up my ashwagandha was mixed in with my sweet potatoes. But it's time. So this is grown for the root, and it's very similar to the root balls that I dug up and processed, the echinacea. So I have 3 plants. This one has some beautiful new growth, but this isn't what it's grown for, but look how pretty. It looks more like the picture from when it was a baby. Bigger leaves, not eaten. Alright, I'm going to dig this one up. This one didn't really give off much seeds, but I have a big one that did give off a lot of seeds. So I needed seeds and roots this year. This one I have photographed a couple times, taking seeds off it. I don't have anything to put the seeds in, but that's what a ripe seed looks like. And they're very soft and smushy. When you break this open, there's a bunch of seeds inside of it. So that's the seed ball, but inside of that, there's a lot of seeds. And this one has a lot that are ready to be picked. So these seeds are not easy for me to get. So it was important this year that I got seeds. But I'm also out of fresh ashwagandha, and I've been out for a year. Last year I didn't have a crop. Okay, so more seeds. Chickens got some of that ashwagandha. I found a couple more seeds. Sweet potatoes. And the ducks got the same thing plus some calendula. We're going for the food. When I was pulling up potatoes, I had a bunch of greens, and I looked it up to see if it was okay to feed potatoes to chickens. And the article said no, it's not okay to feed regular potato plants to chickens, but you can feed sweet potato plants to chickens. So that's my 2 cents worth. I'm going to cut all of these fat roots off of here. They pulled off of the other one that I processed really easily. This part right here will not go in the grinder. This is bad for the grinder or the blender. I have used a blender with these. The blender I don't think liked it. I didn't like the noise it made. But, you know, I use what I have. I have a grinder and a blender. Pulling these apart means some of these pieces had to be cleaned again. I mean, into the, you know, just like anything else, it has spots where dirt was hiding where I had to clean again, and probably will as I keep cutting these. They're all off, and they feel relatively soft. This doesn't. This might be too hard. These smaller pieces are relatively soft. I think I can grind them up easy. The most important part for me this year while I'm processing these is that at some point I have to dry them out really well. The last batch that I had processed them and I was letting them air dry and they got moldy. So air drying is not always an option and isn't going to be an option for me this time. I have to put it in the oven on low. That's what I was talking about. There's still some dirt. This is the new grinder. I had problems with the old machine overheating, which I got secondhand, so I got a new one. Oh, the other thing that's different is I have 4 blades instead of 2, so I haven't tried 2. I'm still learning how to use the new grinder. I've also used a coffee grinder and, like I said, a blender. So anyway, I'm drying them because I didn't like the way this went. Should try out the other blade though, because I don't know which one works better. This is it. It's going in the oven. The smaller bits will dry more quickly and I'll sort them out as they start drying and leave the bigger bits in here. I'm just using one pan. Sometimes I use 2 or 3 and do, you know, less of a pile. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. So that's the way I grind up ashwagandha roots. So what I showed you was the skinnier bits. But what I want to show you now is when they're done, they break. They're not bendy anymore. That's how you tell if a tree is dead too. If you bend it and it cracks, it's dry. It's dead. If you bend it and it's soft, then it still has life. Troubleshooting is something's not locked in right. I read the manual. And this is the 2-blade one, not the 4-blade one. I think the 4-blade one might be for wet food, like grinding peppers or onions or something. It's a wet dry grinder, which is different than a coffee grinder. I wouldn't use my only coffee grinder on this project because, you know, emergency coffee, you need your grinder to not be overheated or broken. It's quite smoky when you take the lid off. Dusty. I'm putting this back in the oven for one more drying because I need this not to mold. And if it's not completely dry, it will. So we'll put that back in. 170, that's the lowest setting on my gas oven. It's kind of dark. It's a cloudy, rainy day. So this is the rest of the ashwagandha plant. I did some research on chickens and ashwagandha, and it's actually beneficial for chickens to have ashwagandha in their diet, the leaves. So I dried a bunch of catmint. Here's the catmint. So there's quite a bit of it. So I'm going to do the same thing with the ashwagandha. I'm going to dry it and I'm going to mix it with the catmint. And I'm making a winter mix of herbs that I can put in their coop. Smells so good. No smell-o-vision. This was the end result. So this is full, and this is what was left over. It's very dry, it's very powdery.